The next method in the downstream processing is drying. It is oftenly one of the methods which is used in the final processings of the product. So it is one of the last stage of manufacturing process. Drying involves the removal of water, thereby making the preparation concentrated. That means it is one of the methods of concentration. Concentration means increasing the amount of desirable fermentation product in the given preparation. So the undesirable material, the content or its concentration is decreased, and the concentration of fermentation product is increased. So this involves the removal of water from a heat sensitive material, so that there should be minimum loss of viability, or it should not cause any inact it should not cause any activity changes in the desirable fermentation product. Also, the care has to be taken that the nutritional value of the fermentation product, it is maintained, and it should not be destroyed by the temperature which is used for the drying process. Drying is required because the cost of transport, it can be reduced. That means this is the method of concentration. This means that the quantity of the given material, it can be reduced due to removal of water content, and therefore the cost of transport, so it requires less space for the packaging, and therefore its handling and packaging transportation is easier. The material, it can be stored more conveniently in dry state. So it depends, or it is dependent on the type of fermentation product or the category of fermentation product. So the fermentation products which are not destroyed due to absence of water, such type of fermentation products may remain active in absence of water. So the advantage is that due to absence of water, uh, or due to absence of moisture, the microorganisms may not be able to grow. Like it avoids the contamination by fungi, bacteria, or any other relevant microorganism. So drying is also one of the method of food preservation, which we have learned earlier in applied microbiology paper. So this is how drying is significant in case of few fermentation products. A spray dryer. Now this is a further advanced modification of the drum drying process. So as the name indicates, spray dryer. So the liquid or the preparation which is to be dried, it is sprayed. That means it is converted in the form of droplets, and then these droplets come in contact with the heating surface, or in this case the steam. So steam and droplets, they come in contact with each other, so that this steam leads to the vaporization of the water particles which are present in the droplets, and the fermentation products are uh, made clear from the water molecules. So it is most widely used for the drying of biological materials when the starting material is in the form of a paste or liquid. This spray dryer, it can be also useful for the biological materials like bacterial endospores, which are quite resistant to high temperature. So that is the most feasible method the for the making of powder of bacterial endospores. So the material to be dried does not come into direct contact with the heating surface. That is the advantage of this technique. Instead, the material, it is converted into small droplets through a nozzle, and these droplets then fall into the spiral stream of hot gas. That means the steam. So steam is generated from the bottom and the droplets are falling from the top. So there is counter current contact between the droplets and steam or the hot gas, which is at 150 degrees Celsius to 250 degrees Celsius, very high temperature, and gets evaporated in few seconds. So the contact between the biological material and the heat, it is just for few seconds, fraction of seconds, and therefore this is how the biological material gets protected from getting deactivated, or there is no loss of activity because the biological material does not come in contact with the heat for a longer period of time. So it prevents the material from being overheated and damaged. So its activity is preserved as compared to the previous drum dryer. This is the diagram of a spray dryer. You can see it is a hood, and at the top of the hood we can see a blue arrow, that is the arrow through which the feed is entering. That means the preparation being dried, which is present in liquid or paste form. It is feed from this top of the hood. It is connected to a spray nozzle. So this spray nozzle will convert the liquid or paste in the form of droplets. So it is coming from the top, and from the bottom red arrow you can see that is the inlet for the passage of hot gas, which is at 150 to 250 degrees Celsius. So this hot gas will rise in the hood and it will come in contact with the droplets which are coming down from the spray nozzle, and whatever the dried material is there, dried material or the product will fall down, and water vapors will rise in, or it will leave the hood from the top. These are the parts of this uh, spray dryer, which is also called as counter current, because the hot gas is moving from the bottom, and the droplets are moving from top. So they are moving in opposite direction, therefore it is called as counter current spray dryer. So the hot gas is allowed to pass from the bottom, and the feed is allowed to pass from the top through the spray nozzle. So this spray nozzle will convert this liquid in the form of droplets which are falling down, and the gas which is rising in the hood. So this is the counter current contact between the droplets, water droplets containing fermentation product, and the hot gas. So this is how the water molecules will get converted into vapor form and they will rise, whereas the product, it will fall at the bottom, the dried product. This is the working of counter current spray dryer. These counter current spray dryers can be as big as like this, 7 to 10 feet. This is used for the industrial scale drying process for bacterial preparations and different biological preparations. This is again a very big one, which is approximately 10 to 15 feet.
Hello friends, this is spray dryer. It is used for making dry powder from liquid samples with hot gases. This is preferred method of drying of many thermally sensitive materials such as foods and pharmaceuticals. Before going to see the working, we will see the various parts of spray dryer. This is a compressor. This is a vacuum pump. This is main body which contains nozzle which inserted here. This is chamber. This is a cone with a receiver. This is cyclone with a receiver. And here scrubber. Now we will see the various controllers such as a pressure controller, feed pump controller, vacuum controller, temperature controller. Here we can adjust all these parameters. Now let's see how it works. Start the main switch. First of all, put this pipe in your liquid sample which is you want to make up dry powder, and other end of this pipe will be connected to the nozzle here, and place this nozzle in this chamber from the top side. And then we will adjust the various parameters to start the process. Parameters like a temperature, pressure, vacuum, feed pump controller will be adjusted. Spray drying involves the atomization of liquid feedstock into spray of droplets which comes through the nozzle, and contacting droplets with the hot air in a drying chamber. Evaporation of moisture from the droplets and formation of dry particles proceed under controlled temperature and airflow condition. The coarse particles are collected in this receiver, and fine and finest particles will be collected in a cyclone and scrubber respectively. It is the ultimate solution for R&D and analytical needs. It is a key for standardization of product. This is spray dryer.